Here we are going to discuss about the photosynthesis. फोटोसिंथेसिस के बारे में हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं। यहाँ पे अभी फोटोसिंथेसिस की हाल ही में जो क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं, द क्वेश्चंस दैट आर आस्किंग इन फोटोसिंथेसिस दे आर नॉट एज अ फ्लैट क्वेश्चंस. Questions are asking in a multiple way, that is assertion reasons, this kinds of pattern, that is you have to spend time and intellect to solve these problems. So we have to practice these kinds of exercise so that we can answer each and every problems of our question of our examinations. Now the correct match. Which one is correct match here? The given. You have to carefully notice here, that is column 1, column 2, 3. 3 columns is given. That the options is 1, 2, 3. Now what are the events and they are how correlated? These are the question. They are the photochemical phase. Photochemical phase, that the light reaction occur. In this case, light reaction occur. We know that the photosystem 2 light reactions occur where oxygen is evolved. It is right. Oxygen release. Now the paper chromatography. Paper chromatography can separate the chlorophylls, chlorophyll A, B, but different pigments. But the yellow-orange color of chlorophyll B is not correct. It is a yellow-green actually. It is not a yellow-orange. It is yellow-green. Now the carotenoids. Here the carotenoids is not a cheap pigment. So the option is 1. The only one is right. So in this way, you have to know multiple things of photosynthesis. So you can answer these questions. Otherwise, you can't. So you have to thorough the book properly and then start answer this. So we will discuss this kinds of questions. This question is of different type. That is the choose the correct statement about C4 plant. That I have asked. This is the AIMS questions. This is the AIMS question of 2017. How they intellect the question is that you see that choose the correct statement about C4 plant. They have given so many statements of C4 plant. You have to choose correct one. That is mesophyll cells possess Rubisco enzyme. Both mesophyll cells and bundle cells lack Rubisco enzyme. Mesophyll cells lack PEP carboxyl enzymes. So these are given. Now mesophyll cells lack pepcase, which converts carbon dioxide to oxaloacetate. Bundle cells synthesize oxaloacetate, which is 4-carbon compound. Now here see what is actually the structure of C4 plants. Here is the cranial anatomy, and C4 plant is little different. What happened here? The vascular bundles are covered by mesophyll cells. These are mesophyll cells. These are mesophyll cells, and this is a bundle cell. This is a vascular bundle, and covering the vascular bundle, one sixth type of cell. These round cells are bundle cells. Bundle cells. Now, what happened in bundle cells and mesophyll cells? Now you see. That is, the mesophyll cells contain only the pepcase enzyme, phosphoenol pyruvate, pepcase enzyme. The mesophyll cell lack pepcase, which converts carbon dioxide. No, this is mesophyll cells. These mesophyll cells possess pepcase enzymes. These mesophyll cells causes pepcase enzymes so that they get the carbon dioxide. They get the carbon dioxide and converts it to oxaloacetate. You know that a Rubisco enzyme oxygen sensitive. So when oxygen concentration is high here, oxygen concentration is very high, Rubisco enzyme is inhibited. So the power of or the efficiency of Rubisco enzyme is reduced. So why this phenomenon occurred here? What happened? Mesophyll cells possess Rubisco enzyme. Mesophyll cells don't possess any Rubisco enzyme. Okay, because mesophyll cells is the environment. This is air. This is air. And environment. From air contains higher amount of oxygen than carbon dioxide. So when air is present in higher amount of oxygen, so this is the probability of getting the oxygen is high than carbon dioxide. So Rubisco enzyme is inhibited here. So Rubisco enzyme, they lack the Rubisco enzyme. The mesophyll cells don't contain any Rubisco enzymes. Okay, but this is not right. Both mesophyll cells and bundle cells lack Rubisco enzyme. That is both mesophyll cells and bundle cells. Bundle cell cells contain the Rubisco enzyme because bundle cells is the site of carbon dioxide fixation. You know that without Rubisco enzyme, carbon dioxide fixation, that is from carbon dioxide to glucose conversion, is not possible. That is the dark reaction is not possible. You can say in other way, that is the mesophyll cell not run any dark reaction here. Only part of a reaction, that is this reaction. This reaction is done by mesophyll cell with peptidase. Peptidase enzymes are present only here. So this statement is not right. Okay, this is both mesophyll cells and bundle cells lack ribosco enzyme. No, this is also a wrong statement, because ribosco enzyme is present here in bundle cells, and from bundle cells glucose are produced and directly transferred to the xylem and phloem, to the different part of the enzyme, different part of the body. So why they are so efficient? They avoid the oxygen. Okay, they take only carbon dioxide with peptidase, that is a peptidase present in mesophyll cells, and from peptidase they transferred oxaloacetate to malate to the bundle cell from here to here. These bundle cells can actually possess ribosco enzyme. So that ribosco enzyme is purely produce glucose and they transport via xylem and phloem. So last option is bundle cells synthesize oxaloacetate, which is 4-carbon compound. No, this is also a wrong statement. Bundle cells not possess oxaloacetate, which is 4-carbon compound. This is a pep carboxylase phosphoenol pyruvate possess the enzyme. So what is the correct statement here? Mesophyll cells possess ribosco enzyme. This is not a correct, because mesophyll cells don't present ribosco enzyme. Both mesophyll and bundle cells lack ribosco enzyme. Both mesophills and bundle cells lack ribosco enzyme. This is not right, because your bundle cells possess the ribosco enzyme. Mesophyll cells lack peptidase, which converts carbon dioxide to oxaloacetate. This is also a not right answer. Bundle cells synthesize oxaloacetate. No, bundle cells not synthesize oxaloacetate, which is a 4-carbon compound. It is actually the mesophyll cell process. So no one is a correct. All the options in this case are wrong. Now, if we separate this to lack to have, then what will happen? Mesophyll cells have peptidase which convert carbon dioxide to oxaloacetate. Yes, they have peptidase only which will convert carbon dioxide to oxaloacetate. So this will now be the right answer. So I just written it because you have to understand each and everything. So this is the overall structure of the C4 plant that occur during the photosynthesis. C4 plant use this mechanism. This is called cranch anatomy. The wreath of flower, wreath of flower. Cranch means the cranch. Cranch is C-K-A-R-N-G. Cranch. Cranch anatomy is cranch. The term cranch means the wreath of flowers. It's a bouquet of flowers. Okay. Another analytical question. That is why C4 plants are more efficient. C4 plants are more efficient. We know that it's a sorghum, a sugarcane, maize. They are the higher productivity. They have a higher productivity. And why this kind of productivity is present here? They show photorespiration. Photorespiration is a hazardous process. That is that they inhibit the ability of synthesize the carbon dioxide or the absorption of the carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is not right, because photorespiration, what happened during photorespiration? Ribosco enzyme actually absorb the oxygen. During the photorespiration, ribosco enzyme absorb the oxygen molecule from atmosphere. It absorb the oxygen from atmosphere. Okay, they absorb the oxygen from atmosphere instead of carbon dioxide. Whether they have to absorb the carbon dioxide, because when concentration of oxygen is high, so they will absorb the oxygen instead of carbon dioxide. So the wet dry mass of the plant will be reduced instead of increasing. Okay, they have ribosco in mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells don't possess any kind of ribosco enzyme. They have, I ask you, mesophyll cells lack of. They lack the ribosco enzyme, because mesophyll cells have only peptidase enzyme. You know, I have answered that peptidase. This is not written sometimes. Okay, peptidase, P-E-P-C-A-S-E, peptidase. Okay, now they can tolerate high temperature. Yes, this is right. They can tolerate. They have the ability to tolerate the high temperature and low water availability. When water availability of soil is very low, they can survive. Okay, they concentrate carbon dioxide near rubisco. This is also right. They can tolerate high temperature and they also concentrate carbon dioxide near rubisco. Okay, this is a mechanism because rubisco present in bundle seed cells. Inside the bundle seeds, they concentrate carbon dioxide. How? Oxaloacetate is produced in mesophyll cells. I have read the questions. Oxaloacetate is produced in mesophyll cells. From mesophyll cells, they transfer it to the bundle seed cells. So why? They concentrate the carbon dioxide near rubisco. This is also right. They can tolerate high temperature and as well as the concentration of carbon dioxide near rubisco is right. When two questions are seeming, that is they are looking like they are the both options are right, but here given only one option, you have to choose only one. Then you have to choose the more relevant, more accurate answer. So they can tolerate high temperature is not a, it's a relative term, but not a perfect, accurate term. But they concentrate carbon dioxide near rubisco is a accurate one. So you have to choose this one. Also this is also a right, but this one is more accurate. So you have to choose this. In this way, when more than two answer is right, you see that or one is relatively relative option is given, then you have to choose the fourth one. So this is C4. This is most important, that is here PEP is primary carbon dioxide acceptor. PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate, the enzyme PEPcase is present for phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. Actually they able to absorb carbon dioxide from atmosphere too. This is your Grange anatomy structure of C4 plant. C4 plants have a special mechanism to absorb the carbon dioxide only from the atmosphere, not both oxygen and carbon dioxide. In case of C3 plants, they absorb both oxygen and carbon dioxide because they have an enzyme rubisco in mesophyll cells, but C4 plants lack rubisco in mesophills. They don't have any rubisco enzyme in mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells possess only PEP and rubisco is present inside the bundle seed cells. That's I have repeatedly taken. Now which is the PEP is present in C4 plants. So you have to search which one is C4 plant. So you know that rice is a C3 plant. Wheat is a C3 plant, mango plant is C3 plant, only maize, sugarcane, sorghum, these are only C4 plant. Okay, so they have a ability to, they have a PEP is a primary carbon dioxide acceptor in mesophyll cell. And if atmospheric oxygen concentration is increased, atmosphere has a 20% oxygen, you know that. This atmospheric oxygen concentration if will be increased to 20 to 25% and carbon dioxide concentration is the same or reduced, then which plant will survive successfully or adapt themselves in that particular environment? You know that C4 plants has a special mechanism to take carbon dioxide from low carbon dioxide concentration in a high temperature and in a less water condition. So if both three conditions arises, if low carbon dioxide concentration, high temperature as well as your water availability is very low, then C4 plant will survive very much because the mystery or the cause is hidden here, the PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate kinase, phosphoenol pyruvate, the enzyme phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase, actually enzyme that absorb the carbon dioxide directly from atmosphere and then they transfer it to the bundle seed cells where rubisco is present. Rubisco enzymes a special mechanism to develop the carbohydrate molecule, that is a dark reaction, that is glucose formation present inside the bundle seed cell. Okay, so the which plant will survive successfully? So you know that is these C4 plants will survive successfully, that is maize as well as sugarcane. They both survive, but these plants will not survive successfully. Why? Because oxygen concentration in these plants will inhibit the photosynthesis mechanism, because oxygen inhibit them. How? Oxygen, they have a rubisco enzyme. These both two enzymes have a rubisco enzyme. This rubisco enzyme will absorb which they absorb oxygen. So when they absorb oxygen as well as carbon dioxide, Rubisco will be inhibited. So photorespiration will be occur in this case. Photorespiration. As a result of photorespiration, carbon dioxide will be released from the body, not absorbed. So the net weight of the body is reduced. So these plants will not survive in future if carbon dioxide concentration will be reduced and oxygen concentration will be high. So maize and sugarcane is the questions, or other C4 plants will survive is given. Rubisco enzyme, again this kind of questions is present in C4 plants. It's not present in which cell? Mesophyll cells of C4 plant, mesophyll cells of C3 plants, mesophyll cells of CAM, and bundle cells of C4 plant. Rubisco enzyme is present in bundle cells of C4 plant. But here question is given that is not present. Mesophyll cells of CAM plants, they also present. Mesophyll cells of C3 plants, they also present. But mesophyll cells of C4 plants, they are devoid of, that is the lack of C4 Rubisco. That is here no Rubisco is present. Here only the Rubisco is present. So in case of C4 plants, mesophyll cell devoid of, lack of. So another questions. Here choose the correct statement. What are the correct statements here about the C4 plants? The C4 plants do not have any Rubisco. This is not correct because C4 plants have Rubisco but not present in mesophyll cell but in bundle set chloroplast. Okay, so this is not correct. RUBP, carboxylation to PGN phosphoglycolate. RUBP, carboxylation, when carboxylation occurs, it converts into phosphoglyceric acid and phosphoglycolate. This PGA is okay, but phosphoglycolate formation not occurs in normal plants but in photorespiration, and carboxylation not occur. So this is also not correct because in case of photorespiration, RUBP is not carboxylated, direct converted into PG and phosphoglycolate, not by carboxylation process. Okay, carboxylation of phosphoenol pyruvate to C4 acid formation. Carboxylation of phosphoenol pyruvate, you know that phosphoenol pyruvate is the first carbon dioxide acceptor in C4 plant, and they produced oxaloacetic acid, which is 4-carbon compound. This is somehow is right. Carboxylation of C4 acids occurs in mesophyll cell. No, the carboxylation of C4 acids not occur in mesophyll cells. So this is also wrong answer. The carboxylation of C4 acids not occur. Actually, carboxylation of 3-carbon compound occur. Carboxylation means attachment of carbon dioxide. Here the attachment of carbon dioxide with the C4 acids not occur. Here the C4 acids is oxaloacetic acid and malic acid. Oxaloacetic acid and malic acid. So they are both 4-carbon compound. These 4-carbon compounds are not getting carboxylated in mesophyll cell. Okay, they are transported from oxaloacetate, they converted into malic acid, and malic acid will be inserted into inside the bundle set cells. So this is also not right. The answer, correct answer is carboxylation of phosphoenol pyruvate will produce the C4 acid formation, that is oxaloacetate. So this is the question. So another question is, compared to C3 plants, how many molecules of additional ATP are needed by C4 plants? We know that C4 plants are much more efficient than C3 plants, but this efficiency is actually we are getting in price of ATP. So how many molecules of ATP are extra needed in case of C4 plant is a matter of question. So it is most important and valuable questions that here are the 12 molecules of ATP are extra needed per molecule of glucose formation. So for this is actually due to the pumping procedure and exporting procedure of phosphoenol pyruvate. What happened actually in C4 plants, you have the bundles, a chloroplast, mesophyll cell, and this is a bundle seed cell. This is the mesophyll cell and this is a bundle seed cell. So the phosphoenol pyruvate absorb carbon dioxide here, and the 4-carbon acid organic acid inserted here, and after giving the carbon dioxide to the Kelvin cycle, it will again regenerate the phosphoenol pyruvate and export it again into the mesophyll cell. During this period, ATP are needed, extra ATP are needed here. extra ATP molecules are needed. So why 12 molecules of ATP molecules are extra needed? Now, this is the most important question, and this is a Ncert based question asked in 2005. This is the common board question. Photosynthesis in C4 plant is less limited by atmospheric carbon dioxide. That is, we know that if fluctuations occurs in concentration of photosynthesis, C4 plants will be not affected, because when concentration of carbon dioxide is very high, it will be not affected by it will not create any effect to C4 plants, and when it is very less, it will also not create any effect because they are protected by the mesophyll cell. PEP carboxylase absorb the carbon dioxide and transport, pumping to the C3 cycle, that is Kelvin cycle. So Kelvin cycle is protected because PEP carboxylase absorb the carbon dioxide and transfer it to the pump it to the bundle slit cell. So this is a effective pumping of the CO2 into the bundle slit cell, because effective pumping of carbon dioxide occurring inside the bundle slit cell, and so why the Kelvin cycle is not affected. So this is a correct question. Another question is that primary fixation of carbon dioxide. Another option is that primary fixation of carbon dioxide is mediated by PEP carboxylase. This is also somewhere is correct. So this both is a kind of debatable question answer. This may be right and this may also be right, because primary fixation of carbon dioxide is mediated by PEP carboxylase. So atmospheric carbon dioxide is not a matter. And also in case of production of glucose concentration, glucose production, if we consider that is the glucose production is affected or not, the carbon dioxide. So in that case, you can say that the pumping of the carbon dioxide from the mesophyll cell to the bundle slit cell is important. So effective pumping is done by the phosphoenol pyruvate this mesophyll cell to the bundle slit cell. So why this is not affected, not limited the C4 plants. So both options are reason. Another question, C4 pathway is more efficient. One is yes, it is more efficient. Okay, right. And reason of this is photorespiration is suppressed in C4 plants. Okay, these are both right. So assertion and reason both are right. Option will be A. So C4 plants show efficiency even in C4 plants show efficiency. Next question, C4 plants show efficiency in high temperature. So low temperature is absent, high carbon dioxide is absent. It is not high carbon dioxide in both C3 and C4 plants will survive. Okay, in greater condition it's survive well, but in low carbon dioxide concentration they have a efficiency of survival. So this is the right answer. Carbon dioxide carbon assimilation occurs in bundle slit cells of bundle slit cells present not in CAM, not present in C3 plants. So this is the right answer. Now the chloroplast without grana found in the chloroplast without grana, that is grana is for what? For light reaction. So in case of bundle slit cells, here bundle slit cells of C3 plants, C3 plants do not have any bundle slit cells. Bundle slit cells of C4 plant, bundle slit cells of C4 plants, it's okay. Mesophyll cells of all plants, it is not, because there is grana is there. Mesophyll cells of C4 plants, they need a grana because light reaction is needed. So this is not right answer. This is the right answer. So bundle slit cells of C4 plants, they do not need any light reaction. It is bundle slit cells is only for the Kelvin cycle. So for the synthesis of your carbohydrate or hexose molecules. So why it is the bundle slit cells of plants. Now another assertion, photosynthetically C4 plants are less efficient than C3 plants. Okay, photosynthetically C4 plants are less efficient. No, this is not right. Photosynthetically they are highly efficient than C4 plants. We know that C4 plants is higher efficiency than C3 plants. Now reason is the operation of C4 pathway needs only the involvement of bundle slit cells. This is also not a right reason. This is not a reason, because this is wrong and this is also wrong. So the last option D in this case. However, what is true about compensation point? Compensation point is the point where amount of carbon dioxide needed for the photosynthesis and the amount of oxygen that is needed, and amount of carbon dioxide is needed. for amount of oxygen needed for the respiration, amount of carbon dioxide needed for the that is a photosynthesis is equal. So this is actually the amount of carbon dioxide is needed for photosynthesis, amount of carbon dioxide produced in respiration is a point of, that is your compensation point. That is when the amount of carbon dioxide needed for the synthesis of photosynthesis is equal to the amount of carbon dioxide produced during respiration. So this equal, when this is equal, then this is the compensation point, the point when the amount of carbon dioxide is needed for photosynthesis and the amount of carbon dioxide is produced due to respiration is equal, or is equal. That particular point is called as compensation points. So your compensation point is most important in case of C3 plant where photorespiration occur. In that case, carbon dioxide is produced much during respiration, photorespiration occurs. So for compensation point, the compensation point is higher level than the C4 plants, because in case of C3 plants, the compensation point is much higher due to photorespiration. Reach the particular point where both amount of carbon dioxide required for photosynthesis, amount of carbon dioxide produced during the respiration is equal, is higher than the C4 plant where photorespiration not occur. So you have to remember in this way.